Well, hello there, humans, bees, earthlings, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. I'm Bushka Blitz, and today we're going to be having a look at a tank that has probably been a long time coming to be looked at again, the Snowstorm Jagdtiger 8.8. It's a tank that I got a long time ago, which was actually pretty good when it was first released. It was one of the few guns at its tier that could permatrack while doing a decent amount of alpha. It had a relatively decent armor profile, but it just got power creeped the hell out of the game. And recently, Wargaming have done a few touch-ups on the tank, particularly giving it a 105mm gun, and it's turned the tank right around. You might have known RH from Premo, the mouse driver from Premo, who every time I did a couple of tournaments with the guys from Premo, that we were doing tournaments at Tier 8, he wanted to drive the Jagdtiger 8.8. Loved the thing, big German armor fan. And a lot of people who love German armor particularly love this tank because historically it's such an emphatic looking vehicle and it's pretty cool. Now, I've seen a real Jag up close in the flesh at Bovington at Tankfest, and it was freaking amazing. The thing is massive, like on an absolutely different scale. And the only tank really that I can remember there being bigger than it, or as big, but the same kind of idea, was the Tortoise. The Tortoise is pretty phenomenal as well. Now, the superstructure of the tank is nearly a carbon copy of the Tier 9 Jagdtiger, which doesn't say a lot for the armor profile of the Tier 9. The Tier 8 is kind of funky. Versus Tier 7 tanks, it dominates them with armor. Versus Tier 8 tanks, you've really got to angle the vehicle up. And because of that, it's a tank that a little bit of knowledge goes a long way with. If you can learn how to angle a vehicle, and I just did a whole stream on angling, you will do a lot better in this tank. Likewise, it can actually side scrape a bit too. It's got those very, very steeply angled flat armor plates that make up the side armor, and that means you can do a bit of side scraping this tank and get some big bounces. The negative on the tank is the profile is so enormous, and your traverse, it used to be worse, but the traverse on the tank itself is not particularly amazing, but at 37.7 you can kind of get things done. But if you get shot from the side, you're going to take massive amounts of damage. You're not going to bounce those shots. But what you can do with the 105mm gun is play a more traditional alpha roll with your TD and still pump out a lot of damage. You do have a very, very nice gun, the 105mm KWK L68A gun, 0.293 dispersion maxed out, 3.8 seconds aim time, and a 310 alpha, plus 225mm of AP pen, and nearly 300mm, 285mm of APCR pen. So the gun is excellent. Like, it's one of the most unsung heroes of Tier 8 weapons. A 105mm gun that can do 3,100 damage per minute is a serious thing to be reckoned with. And on a premium tank that earns money, it makes this tank a very, very, very good tank for newer players to run as a premium credit grinder. And I know that sounds crazy because it's a non-turreted TD, but if you're a patient player and you just look at shots like that, 0.293 dispersion. If you're a patient player and you just follow your heavies around in this tank, you'll knock out 1,500 damage a game as a relative noob, because the gun will win hit point trades. 3,100 damage is a lot. And your armor profile, if they can't shoot low, if they can't get down to that lower glacis and they get stuck looking at your upper structure, is horrible. As you can see here, I'm pushing on this SU-101 because he's got no gun depression, so he can't get the gun down. And look how quickly we reload. We win the reload battle. Crazy, hey? Crazy. 10 rounds a minute of 105mm gun. This is the first game I played in the tank for ages, and it went pretty well. 3,500 damage nearly, mastery badge, steel wall, high caliber, 75,000 credits earned. You don't need to shoot a lot of AP. That's the other reason I find it to be a relatively good premium credit grinder. Now, it's not OP at all. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you are a new player and you want to just play from the back and you want to earn credits, and this is a great way to do it. Like, this is an absolutely fine way to do it. The DPM 3100 at tier 8 is massive. There's not a lot of tanks at tier 8 that have more DPM than that. And your penetration, you can see me going through the very, very sharply angled sides of most of these tanks. It's really good. This isn't me, by the way. I'm sorry. This is Nash 1977, Nash Guy 1977. And next up is Johnny Chang. Now, quickly, replays. I appreciate that some people are a bit salty that their replays have not been shown. I've seen some of the comments. I can't help that, guys. I wish I could. I am thankful that you send them in. If you don't think you can handle the disappointment of the replay not being featured, then just don't send the replay in. Because at the moment, I've had 200 new emails this week, which some of them have multiple replays in them. That's about 20 hours worth of footage at 5 minutes a game. And that's before editing and putting the videos together, which is just impossible. I mean, I'm never going to get through that. I'd love to be able to, but there's no way I can do it. So I'm afraid that it's an imperfect system, but it's the best system we've got. And it's great that we're able to feature more community content, I think, anyway. Now, the crazy thing with this replay is that Nash Guy is using the 88mm Pak 43, the L71, and that gun is kind of weird. It has less pen, way less pen. It's got 203mm of pen on your AP and 237mm of pen on your APCR. It is, however, even better in terms of dispersion. 0.284 dispersion, fully maxed, and 3.2 seconds of aim time, which is, a whole lot of laser beam. Now, I prefer the 310 Alpha gun. My reasoning is pretty straightforward. If you have the 310 Alpha gun, you get basically the same DPM, but you spend less time with your tank visible. Now you can see Nash is doing a good job here. The AT-15 starts firing these crazy little HE shells at him, trying to do some damage, while Nash responds with full doses of 88mm damage. Oh, it's not a good trade for the poor old AT-15, because basically the guns are negligible, the difference in the DPMs. Off the top of my head, I think it's 3,159 for the 88 and 3,115 for the 105. I'm not going to check. Have a look, see how close I got, because these are the numbers that I remember. Like, as I go to sleep at night, I know what the gun depression is on the WZ121. These are the things that I remember. Like, I know how many horsepower the LTTB has. This is the stuff that I get stuck with after doing all these reviews. My freaking God. Low-key OP is a great way of describing this tank, because there are some features that people don't really pay attention to. Namely, it's got 8 degrees of gun depression. So you can get your shots off pretty easily. If the target is in front of you, unless you are angled ass up over the top of a hill, you're going to be able to get the shots off relatively easily. It also allows you to maximize your gun depression. It's way underrated. I mean, I know I say that a lot, but it is so underrated, this tank. Especially, I feel, with that 310 Alpha gun. I mean, most guns you have to make a decision. Do you have DPM or Alpha? But Wargaming just made this tank to have the same DPM, but you get to choose how you deliver it. 14.5 rounds a minute or 10.05 rounds a minute. The big up for this gun too, I mean, 225mm of pen on your AP and 285mm of pen on your APCR. Not on this gun, sorry, on the tier 9 gun. That's hard to pass up when your dispersion is already 0.293. Like, you're under 0.30 dispersion. That's laser beam material. I mean, that's really accurate weaponry material. There's no way you should have to sacrifice 22mm of AP pen and like 50mm of APCR pen for a slightly more accurate gun. It just seems like the other gun is the better option. Either one, though, will work at tier 8. The other gun will work at any tier. Like 285mm of pen will get you through most tiers. Tier 10, you might have a few issues, but everyone else is going to eat face. And I'm going to show you one more game here. This is a great game too. Nash has been really aggressive with this tank, which I like. He tanked a cubic arse load on top. And then he went down and pushed through and killed that AT, and he's been very, very present in the game. And I don't want you to think, because earlier that I said that it can be played from the back, that I was actually saying that's how it should be played. I'm quite simply stating that if you're a newer player, then this is a tank where when you, like, if you want to snipe, and a lot of new players do, let's face facts, a lot of new players are very, very passive, and with good reason. They get flogged for going forward. I mean, we all like to have a crack at new players. Oh my God, this guy didn't know what he was doing. He was at the back the whole time. But tell me how you think they go after 300 battles when they drive forward in a tier 8 premium tank and get minced, absolutely poop minced by that tier 9 heavy. Or like it's basically, until you're good enough, you're not good enough kind of situation. So a lot of people feel very comfortable at the back. And I know if I had a newer player who was going to sit at the back and actually put shots in, then this is the tier 8 premium that I'd probably want them doing it in. You know, it's ideal for the purpose. And look at it this way. If you're in an IS5, what, $70 worth of tank, not the IS5, say a freaking hell, I don't know, an IS2SH or something, and they told you it was great armor-wise. Look at the armor thing. It says it's got lots of armor. And you drive forward, and you're like, this E75 thing, it keeps killing me. I've lost 3 in a row. I've done no damage. I can't pen them. They keep penning me. I'm hopeless. Man, I'd rather that dude was in a Jagdtiger 8.8, because the next game, he is going to sit at the back in his IS2SH and try and use that horrible 120mm gun to snipe with. If they were playing a Jag 8.8 and they were at the back, at least what they hit, they'd be penning. Now, there's a reason I'm saying this, because I'm leading into toxicity in the game, right? There is a lot of negativity in the game, and there's a lot of negativity in most mobile games. I don't know if you guys understand this. Most games, like online games, not mobile games. But we yell at noobs for not knowing. But, I mean, it's why is it a sin to be ignorant when you, I mean, you just don't know. Not knowing is a state of mind for most of us on most things. I am pretty much in the not knowing category on pretty much everything, and it's just luck that, you know, you get someone who can actually play the game on your team instead of someone who can't play the game. But why are we so aggressively, like it's the fault of the person who doesn't know, like they specifically don't know on purpose? Because you're going to see in this game, people get really saucy, people get really salty. I'd like to think that next time someone doesn't know what the hell they're doing, how about you just say, hey, you should go and check out Skate's channel or Meadsy's channel or Martin Dogger's channel. Aminette just did a stream on that. You know, Irma Bex wrote an article on this. You know, this is all right there. If you want to know, guys, you know, help them, send them. My whole channel ethos is help the humans, and that T43 absolutely nearly got that right. Nearly got it out. Twerk it up. Now, I love this. So send them to the freaking YouTube. Send them to the YouTube. Say, hey, you're not doing it right. But you know what? Instead of yelling and screaming and calling you a noob and saying, you know, I dropped your mum home at the bus stop last night, say, hey, there's a review of that up on Bushka's channel. Go and check it out. And even though I'm not the greatest player in the world, I guarantee you it will help people that don't know how to play the game. The reason that, after watching this video the first time, I wanted to get it out there, because these guys go nuts at this Jag. Hey, they're all giving this Jag heaps of stick, but Johnny Chang doesn't care, because Johnny Chang is hull down with 8 degrees of gun depression, a good solid upper glacis. See you in the garage, JG says the Type 62. Twerk it up's been going on about it. And now Johnny G's like, I got 235mm of AP pen. I can certainly lay out some smack here. Come at me, bros. 1 on 4. I got to do a Racine to Russ and I to get this one done. Who wants to be the first one across the water? Tiger won. Congratulations. You're the next contestant on. I don't really want to go out sideways because that Jag keeps wrecking me. There's one. There's another one. Straight down. 3 to go. This is great because no one wants to actually come and get burned crossing over there. They are all just taking their time, and we have yet to see contestant number 3. We've only got the T34 and the Tiger one in front of us, and look at this steel wall going on right now. Look at the angling. Look at these guys go. The T44-100 kill T34. The T44-100 is filthy with his own teammates. That Tiger's poked again. There's a 30-40. He really needs to clear that 34. But you know what I love about this? He's not overplaying his hand. He is. There's that 8 degrees of gun depression. Look at this guy go. Look at these angles. They are getting absolutely wrecked. The 44-100 is now going for the Jagdtiger on the green team. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. These guys are like, you know, maybe we should stop poking. Maybe we should stop coming out sideways on this guy. Because, you know, he seems to be doing pretty well. Oh, dear. You're tracked. And guess what? He's got 10 rounds a minute. Tata T34, the Tiger 1, is finally thinking about pushing across this bridge. But there is so much DPM. The Jagdtiger jiggling, jiggling, jiggling. Hits him again. That gun, 3,000 plus DPM. Driving forward, catches another one on the track. Oh my God. Get wrecked. That is absolutely glorious, dude. That is absolutely amazing. What a monster. Johnny Chang. Oh, he's desperate. This is a RAS. He wants this so bad. Look at them. Kill him for me. Which base? Johnny Chang wants it. And because he's the last guy left, he's got the extended view range and everything, but he's 256. If that STA pops, if he just pops, he's screwed. Now, some people might say, oh, but the guy's AFK, it doesn't make any difference. I'd be like, if he kills him and he's AFK, I don't care. That last effort was pretty amazing. But there he is. He is indeed AFK. And Johnny Chang is going to pick up the last 6 hit points worth, the last 6 and the damage. Last 2 hit points worth of damage with a ram. 7 kill monster. Monster carry. I mean, AFK at the end, but surely he deserved that. The RAS, the Kolovanov, the massive steel wall, the mastery, the high caliber, the top gun. And they were all giving it to him. Time to go to the garage Jag. You know, Yag's dead now. 21 hits received. 14 without damage. Brilliant work, mate. Brilliant. Loved that replay. Really made my day. Enjoyed it tremendously. I hope you guys like that. I'm Bushka on Blitz. You're the humans. What a wonderful community we have here. Let's help each other out. Be nice to each other in game and do our level best to make it a more friendly and invigorating environment. Until next time, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield.